Are we starting now? Oh yeah, we are.
Oh,
What it do? What it do? What it do? They gonna feel me, family, and welcome back to another episode of They Gonna Feel Me, where you get authentic conversation from authentic men. Today, you got your boy hosting. Y'all see the name? Dino. Honestly, never mind. Don't worry about it. I got my boy Al C, the pettiest motherfucker I know. I got my boy, honestly, I mind, Big Ree's dog at the bottom. You feel me? And then I got my boy, the other Splash brother. He just darker than the rest of them. You feel me? We're about to get into episode 37. I don't know a popular ball player that wears the number 37. Honestly, I don't care. But before we start, y'all see that at the bottom? Y'all see that ticker? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. So who? Your grandma can see it, your mama can see it, your daddy can see it if you got him in your life, your great grandma can see it. Y'all share it. Whoever.
oh,
We finna get into it, baby. Let's start with the first topic. And we talking about them boys, Rob's boys, over there in the Golden State. The Golden State Warriors, man. Shout out to them. They won the championship in 6 games. Who cares? So y'all tell me what y'all think about the Golden State winning this championship. What y'all think this does for Steph Curry's legacy as well, man?
man. To be honest, it went about how I thought it was gonna.
Oh, let's let Rob go first.
It went about how I thought it was gonna go. Man, stop hating all your life. But it went about how like I thought it was gonna go. That first game, it was kind of looking iffy. That first game, I was like, hey, y'all realize y'all blowing 2 double-digit leads, but at the end, the experience of Golden State, I think, played a major, pivotal role in them coming out and pulling through this series because those guys, there's no substitute for experience because you can have all the talent in the world, but when you're on that stage, the brightest stage, the biggest stage, you saw Steph Curry came to play. You saw Clay Thompson came to play. Draymond, when it was a closeout game, he had sucked basically the whole series. But that last game, when it was time to close him out, he showed up. And you had individuals from Boston, they just it seemed like the stage was a bit too big for him. Jalen Brown, he played, but the turnovers. Uh, I'm Jason Tatum, turnovers. I mean, they're talented brothers. They're really talented brothers, but it just wasn't their year. But they really do need to get a point guard. They because Marcus Smart really ain't really not it. And I let somebody else go before I come back and talk
Yeah,
about Steph's
that's what I
legacy.
was that's what I was gonna say. I mean, the biggest thing to me is just Boston needs a point guard. Like anytime you have the ball in your forward's hands or even Jalen Brown's hands, he's a shooting guard. But when they have the ball in their hand majority of the time and they're not very good solid ball handlers. They're decent, but they're not the best of the best ball handlers. So that I think that's what's led to a lot of turnovers in those games. But again, like Rob said, it just came down to experience. I think the game where Steph dropped 43, that was the turning point in the series because when Boston won that the second game that they won, which I believe was game 3, I was like, well, dang, they might actually have a chance at winning this series. But when Steph came back and dropped 43 and the rest of Golden State really didn't play that well, I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can win this series,
But
you
Reese,
know,
let me
but
ask you this though: Do you? I mean, I know you said that was the turning point for you, but what about that next game? Do you think? I mean, I'm just asking because remember that game
mm,
five in game five, that was a game that Steph didn't even make a three, and
yeah,
if they could have won any game, I think
yeah,
that
but
game was prime for them to.
yeah. I think that game was the turning point because it gave that team more confidence. It gave Golden State more confidence. I think when Steph dropped 43 and it was just like this heroic performance. And I figured Steph was gonna have a game like that after that game, like because he had to exert so much energy in that game to win that game. And so the team was probably like, to me, the team was like, okay, we got your back. You had our back this game. You had this heroic effort and you carried us. So let us carry you this game. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that was the sentiment in that game 5. So yes, I do feel like Steph scoring 43 was the turning point in the series, because it's almost like demoralizing. No matter, because Boston could have easily won that game, but no matter what they did, when they took the lead, I think at one point they may have had, I don't know if they had a double digit lead, if I'm not mistaken, but it's like Steph he was determined to win that game, no matter what. He wanted that game, and he got it. You know what I'm saying? And to me, a player like Steph, when he's on like that, and no matter how you defend him, he's still
See,
making shots. That's demoralizing. You
that's
know
what
what
I
I'm
was
saying?
gonna ask you.
But
That's
it
what I was
seems
gonna
as
ask you.
if like their whole focus was to try to neutralize him, and like he just proved that he wasn't
But see,
ultimately.
I would counteract that, because I was going to ask you, and Reezy, you brought that up. Do y'all think Udoka, Ime Udoka, I know he was a first time coach. Do y'all think he deserves some blame though? Because if you see, once you see Steph rolling like that, don't isn't it up to your coach to be like, hold on, we need to come up with something, whether we're gonna trap him at half court, where we're gonna make him get rid of the ball. Because ain't nobody else scoring. We need to stop this guy. We need to stop this guy right here.
I mean, their biggest
Yeah,
thing though in that series as well, it wasn't just the emergent, it wasn't just the greatness of Steph. It was also, the backup play of Andrew Wiggins as well. Andrew Wiggins
Yeah.
definitely showed that he was worthy of being an all-star. He proved me wrong, man. I remember Jimmy Butler talking about him, saying he wasn't an all-star, he was lazy, he wasn't into the game. And then, we all know the whole thing with, coming into the league. He was supposed to go to the Cavs and got traded. And I mean, he just proved his worth. He reminded me of the kind of like the Harrison Barnes,
Oh
kind of like the
man.
Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala impact that they had in that first series, that in the first championship that this trio won together. So, I mean, it was a lot in that game. That game four, when Steph dropped 40 something and then turned around in game five, I felt like, Boston. One thing I can say about Boston, even without a point guard, they remind me of those first 2 years that Golden State had their run when they went to back-to-back championships before getting Kevin Durant. Like, we knew that they were talented. There was always an asterisk when they beat LeBron, the first year, because it was like, okay, you beat LeBron without a healthy squad. Let's see what you do next year. And then, of course, we know next year they lost. But they were so turnover heavy. They were careless with the ball. You got Steph making behind the back passes, and they only up by 2 points. You know what I mean? And not to say that that's what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics were doing, but they were just very careless with the ball. It didn't seem like they tried to protect it, especially game 6, bro. It was like they brought the game back, but every time down, they were turning the ball over. They would bring the game within 5 points, 2 back-to-back turnovers, bring the game back within 5 points, 2 back-to-back turnovers. It's like you can't win doing that. And I knew game 6, I mean, when them boys came out on a 12-0 run, I was like, okay, here we go. Well, when they came from that timeout and Golden State went on that damn 20-0 run, I said, bro, just turn the game off. It's over. Like they've exerted, they've shown that, these last couple years that they were out, it was all due to injury and not having a healthy squad. And I mean, kudos to Steph for saying last year, y'all don't want to see us next year, because he definitely stood on his word, gained extra pounds in the offseason, came out and won. So, I mean, I'm not mad about the outcome. I'm happy to see Steph win and Steph win MVP, but Steph and only Steph, because fuck the other two. That's part of that trio.
So
Ooh,
one thing
party.
I don't want people to overlook is, I think another thing that changed the series is Gary Payton Jr. coming back. His defense allowed Wiggins to just guard Jason Tatum, because before they were putting Wiggins they would put Wiggins on Jaylen Brown, they would put him on Jason Tatum, and they had to let Draymond guard Jason Tatum sometimes, and let Draymond guard Jaylen Brown, but that kind of freed those guys up a little bit and allowed Andrew Wiggins to focus on Jason Tatum, which we saw it took Jason Tatum out of the game pretty much. And again, I've said this about other players. Jason Tatum, you got to get better, bro. You got to find a way to score. You know what I'm saying? You can't settle for jumps. He settles for jumpers way too much. In games like Game 6, you can't be shooting 8 to 9 threes and you only made one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's the thing that he's got to work on. But I think Gary Payton Jr. Helped this series a lot too. I don't want people to overlook that.
I'm gonna say also, Jason Tatum, can we just chill with the Kobe stuff? Can we just stop? Can we just be you,
Well,
bro?
he kind of
Just
did stop. He kind of did stop midway through the finals. I mean, I'm not mad at him. You
Yeah.
know, for Kobe is his favorite player. He made it to the finals, you know, and he wanted to pay tribute to him. I think it would have been a little bit weird if all through the series he was, you know, doing something with Kobe. But I mean, the first couple games, I'm not mad at him. I think people hold it against him because he didn't win. But to me, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's just his way of paying tribute. Now,
My thing,
if he does it in the future, then yeah, it's a little corny. It's like, okay, give it up, bro. Like, you
but
know, you did you.
my thing with it is this: I don't even fault the player because if we think about it, if we think back to last year's finals, Devin Booker, he didn't do what Jason Tatum did, but I kind of blame ESPN and all these other media outlets because who is the first person that they compare when they see a flash of Mamba
They compare him to
mentality?
Kobe,
Compare him to Kobe. We said the same
just
thing
like
about
Kyrie.
yep, just like Kyrie. We said the same thing about Kyrie. Oh, he's head down, focused. He doesn't care about who's on the court. He's gonna get his. And then Devin Booker last year, just look at what he's even this year. Look at what he's doing on the court. He got Be Legendary tatted on his arm. He got Kobe shoes on. Everybody wants to compare everyone to these people, and it's like let them grow and mature. You're talking about players who've only been in the league, which is, I mean, it may seem like it's not a long time because you got rookies coming in the league averaging 20 something plus, but you know what I mean? You've got players who haven't even been in the league a full 5 years yet. Like when I looked and I saw Devin Booker only been in the league like right at 6 years, if I'm not mistaken, I was taken aback. I was like, okay, let me not be as hard as I am on dude because he really hadn't even reached his prime yet. And we see these dudes coming out, you know, how much the game has changed. We see these dudes coming out, Devin Booker while Chris Paul was out averaging freaking almost 60 points a game, carrying that team to countless dubs. You know, I mean, these players, they have their favorite players. If y'all gonna do anything, stop comparing them to the favorite player. Stop bringing up that comparison because y'all did the same thing with Kobe with MJ. Y'all kept talking about, you know, oh, Kobe's the next MJ. Kobe's the next MJ. We had to let him mature. Let these players mature. I don't fault them for showing love to their favorite player. So it is what it is.
I will say this, and you know, as we go on, get ready to move on. If people don't like Golden State now, they really not gonna like them in the future because you still got Wiseman, you still got Moody, you still got Kaminga and Jordan Poole. I mean, so that bench is young and still them kids got talent on top of talent. So if you, I mean, prepare to see Golden State making deep runs in the playoffs for the foreseeable future, unless something catastrophic happens. But moving on.
Most def. But moving on into the next topic. Now, this is something that I came up with, right? This is something that I had to ask the fellas so we could ask y'all, right? So we know that P Valley is a very popular show. A lot of the things that go on in P Valley. Down
Where
in
the girls
valley,
get naked.
girls.
1, 2, break them.
Anyway,
Bitches
Can we
grind
talk about how
hard.
trash that damn song is? That song is
I mean,
Nah,
trash.
that song hard.
It's such
These
that
niggas
song is
grind
ass as
hard,
hell.
but these
I
bitches
hate that
grind
song.
harder.
Hate that.
hey, look, that's real Mississippi rap right there, bro. I mean, I'm
No, it
just
is.
saying. I'm just
That
saying.
is lesbian gay club rap is what that is.
So my question to y'all, fellas, could you see yourself dating a stripper? And give me a reason as to why you could or why you could not see yourself dating a stripper. Let's hear it.
I say personally that I could definitely see myself dating a stripper in my younger years. But I mean, the only reason why is because like in my younger years, I probably wouldn't be like serious with anybody, you know? Like, I mean, like if it was just a thing of, oh yeah, I got a baddie who happens to like also strip, like, I mean, I ain't trying to marry you per se. Like, so what does it really matter what you do for your money? I mean, you probably making the more money in the relationship. So, you know, that's a win for me. Like, I ain't about to like hold something like that against you. I mean, in today's world, you got so many people out here who on the cool, they like are influencers or like, I don't know, OnlyFans models and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody out here like seems as if like they low key involved in sex work on some level or another, like that sparks your interest. So what does it really matter if like they're a stripper? It's like you don't know what their past is. You know what I'm saying? How they make their money is just how they make their money. But that's an opinion.
Younger, me, even younger me. No, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. It would always be intriguing to wonder what it would be like. But I think for me personally, that's as far as it would go for me, because it just, and it's not a thing. It's not a thing of judging, but we all got
If it's not a thing of
biases.
judging, then why does it matter?
If you let me talk, I'll let you
I'm
know.
just saying. I'm just saying.
We all have our biases in certain things, and
Sounds like
I've
judgment.
been to a strip club or two in my days, and I've seen the types of things that happen in strip clubs, and not casting aspersions on certain people, but I'm sorry, I just
But it
couldn't.
ain't it ain't it ain't every
I
stripper
couldn't
in
do
there
it.
though. I mean, you got your diamonds as you're trying to pay their way through college. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
I mean, it ain't every one of the strippers. What if you just happen to meet that one that's like, I ain't had my mom or dad to help me. I couldn't get approved for financial aid, so I had to do what it do to make it. You know what I'm saying? Get what I needed to get. And I was just blessed with this boudoir and blessed with these bosoms that I was able to get out here and make money. So,
I mean, it's cool. We can be friends. But
okay.
I mean, I'm not. Nah,
It's
I'm not
okay
gonna
if
be. I'm not wifing you up.
then if all right, it's fine if you don't wife them, but like, are you so no dating at all? Like you're my play girlfriend. You like, or is it somebody I hook up with? Ain't nothing. None of that would have been a thing you would entertain.
Nah.
Wow, I feel so sorry for your dick, bro. Like, just saying.
Hey. Why you feel sorry for
Pause.
mine? I mean,
Pause.
that was real. That's
Pause. I'm
real
just
greedy.
saying,
That's
like I
real.
mean,
Pause.
yeah, as a,
I'm
I'm
just
just
saying.
saying, like,
This is that,
why would you pass up that experience? That's all I'm trying to say. Like, there's a lot of girls who
did the
don't strip that
question.
like,
Did the question.
you're right.
The question said, "What would you do?"
You
So I'm not judging you for your answer. So don't judge
Okay.
me
All
for
right,
my
that's
answer.
fine. I'm
Everybody
just
got their
saying.
preferences.
that's
If I don't want it, I
that's
don't
true.
want it. More. I mean,
That's
there's
fair, bro.
more strippers for you.
True. True.
More
That's
for
True.
that.
you.
Hey,
Have at it.
that's very Deacon Board esque answer. So like
Hey,
I am
And
not gonna
still with the
fault you.
Oh, come
condescension.
on
Still
I'm
now.
with the
not faulting you.
condescension.
I'm just saying I ain't faulting you.
That's you.
I'm a low life. So like it is what it is.
Hey, continue to do that. Hey.
Come on now. What you got
I
for me,
mean,
Samuels?
I think if we talking casually, just like having fun, yeah, I probably could date a
Mhm.
stripper. I mean, I
Yeah.
thinking about it, yes, casually, yes, I could date a stripper. But if we talking about like serious, like you my girl, like I want to show you off to the world. I don't know if I could, get down with that. Like you know, especially like you got a circle of people, and let's be honest. We know that respect and people's opinions matters with when it comes to who you're dating. So to act like people talking about who you're dating and knowing what that person does is not going to affect you is just kind of is not relevant. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're not gonna have that in the back of your mind what people think about the person that you're dating. So, some people can get over that. But to me, if it's somebody I'm taking serious, I just don't personally know that I could date a stripper seriously. Casually,
But it
yes, but I don't know about seriously.
but it doesn't seem as if like they really gonna know anything about her background unless like they be off in the strip club too. In which case,
Mm.
like if you off in the strip club too and know what she do, then
But we
who are
got we
you to
got to
pass
factor
judgment?
in we got to factor in social media. Like, does she have a social media? Is she
Not
showing
all not all
showing her
strippers
stuff
had
off on? I mean,
not all
majority of them do
strippers.
though. A lot of them do.
career
I mean,
strippers, but like some
so
who are just in and trying to get in and get out. I don't
I
feel
mean,
as if like they putting themselves out there like that.
and it depends on how known they are too. Like, so I like I
This
said, personally, I just don't know if that's for me. I couldn't have that in the back of my mind, that pressure. I wouldn't want to be trying to control what she does and just have those thoughts in my mind, period. I think that's just something that's gonna breed insecurity, and you're gonna always
mm,
be trying to control that person and what they do. So no, I mean, as far as like a serious relationship, I just don't think that would personally be for me. You know,
Yeah.
And that was
but
gonna be my
yeah,
question, because it was gonna be like, and this is really what made me think about this question after watching that last episode of P Valley. When it was a scene, not to give it all away, because I know LC ain't seen it yet, but I just talk about one scene.
I don't care.
It
Spoiler
was
alert,
a scene that was
whatever.
closer towards like middle to end of the show. And there was a dude that was in one of the rooms, and he was trying to get some head from one of the strippers. And you know what I'm saying? She was like, "Nah, that ain't me. I ain't with that. You ain't no touching this, that, and the third. I'm
yeah,
a strip for you and woo woo woo." And he was like, "I'm looking for the girl with the dick sucking lips. I heard about the girl with the dick sucking lips. I heard she work at this club. I want you to go get her where she at." And I just felt like, I just looked at it and I was like, I just don't know if I could see myself dating someone being degraded like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, it may not happen each and every night. Yeah, it
And
may not happen with every stripper, but it's almost like,
and
but it's
and
always gonna be in
it's
the
gonna
back
be
of
in the
your
but
back of
mind
see,
your
too.
mind.
Like,
man,
Exactly.
like
the
for the
thing, the
what
thing,
will
the
you do for
thing,
the right price?
the thing going along with that tangent, Chris, though, and kind of taking a little, skewing it off to the next. Of course, a little bit is you got some grimy dudes out here.
Mm,
Yeah, that
You
too.
got some, and you got to
That
look
too.
at
and
that.
that's
You have to
another
look at
thing.
that
Yeah,
environment, that seedy environment.
yeah.
And most of the times, what kind of hours? What kind of hours are strip clubs open?
Late night
Night,
Late,
into the
early morning.
morning,
late,
early
late,
morning.
late at night. You got
Damn.
guys. You got guys that go in there full of that
Full of that
oil
oil,
already. I
drugs.
mean,
Loaded.
even before they had the alcohol in them, they already super disrespectful to women anyway. They don't respect women. They just look at them as like a piece of booty. Like, hey, hey, come here, girl, come here. Hey, I got some money for you. Go and do something strange for a little change. And she can be have the best morals or whatever. You got guys in there, they drunk, they disrespectful, they decide, hey, she ain't want to do this with me. We gonna follow her out to the club. Or we finna go walk her, wait after the club and catch her when she walk to her car, whatever. That's just a whole nother
But
aspect. No.
But bro, like your wife can be at Kroger's trying to shop, and like some grimy dude like follow her back to the house, kill you and her. Like I mean,
Bro,
like that. There's grimy dudes out here that like are just throw it off in the head, like incel ass. Oh, I can't get a woman, so I'm gonna make everybody pay. Ass
But
men
we
are
can't we
everywhere.
can't we can't act
so
like
Just
the
cause like
strip,
she a strip,
but we
just
can't
cause
act
like
like
a
the strip club isn't more of an attraction for
yeah,
those type
that's
of
what I'm
guys
saying.
though.
I'm like,
that's true.
if
You
he
know
just
what I'm
got through
saying?
seeing her in a two piece in a thong, as opposed to seeing a regular woman
Cause
in the
because
store with a,
niggas ain't going to the
come
strip
on,
club
man.
for the art of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't
That's
going to,
fair.
ooh, she dances so beautifully on the pole. No, they trying to
No,
see
she's so
ass and
elegant.
titties.
She must be a gymnast. Like,
She
okay,
must,
I get that.
like dude said on the show, he named the move that the girl did. Ain't no, don't no nigga know what kind of move she doing on the damn pole. I know that you dropping that shit low and you showing your ass and titties, and that's all I
I,
know.
They
Cause
know
I
they
feel,
know a
I feel,
split. They know a split. She did it. She did a
she
split.
did a
I,
split.
this,
Yeah, that's
this
it.
whole, this whole conversation is like a subplot from Best Man Holiday, is what this is. Like not every woman out there, not every woman out there is going to be Cardi B or from that movie Candy. Like the stripper with a heart of gold or anything like that. But like, I mean, the reality of the matter is, at the end of the day, it is just a job. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I will say I mean, it's not like her occupation isn't something that might weigh heavily on you. Hell, I've worked with other people that have worked in the sex industry and also have been strippers, and like they dope ass people. Like just on the inside, I mean, they got some grimy background. Like I mean, but at the same time, that doesn't mean they can't have like a good future ahead of them. But to y'all point, I feel as if like what this all boils down to is just how secure you are in yourself and the kind of relationship you can have with somebody, and whether or not they can separate that part of their life, leave work at work, and but when I'm home, it's us.
Yeah, exactly.
So how, I mean, because I know Alcie, you said that you could. So let me ask you this: how secure do you think you could be? I mean, knowing that there's gonna be, especially like, let's say you dating a stripper that work at King of Diamonds. You hear how many rappers, motherfuckers, Drake and Future coming through that bitch all the time, but you got not a basic female, but a thick female that say she ain't into all of that, but she working on Saturdays at this joint where you got people with millions and billions of dollars coming through. And you ain't financially, I don't know your finances.
The right price.
Right.
You ain't financially there.
Let's be real. Even if you a bottle service girl, you are probably in a different tax bracket if you working in King of Diamonds. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, the way in which I see it is that like my insecurity wouldn't come for like the kind of work that she does as much as like if I had any kind of insecurity, it would be because like she makes as much money as she does, and like I do not. I mean, just keep it all the way 100 with you. I ain't clearing that kind of money. I've had a stripper before tell me, "Oh, how much do you make? Doing your job?" And I'm like, "Oh, I make this amount." "Oh yeah, I make that in a night." Like that, the insecurity of like just knowing that, because it's kind of like you out here, you can easily shake your ass on the right night, and now all of a sudden Drake is like trying to take you out, and I can believe all day that you're gonna be faithful, but you fucking with like you on par with like rich ass folk, you know what I'm saying? I'm a regular ass dude, and you have to have enough security in yourself to believe like, hey, yo, this person likes me for me, which sounds, like a duck ass thing to say, but like you gotta feel confident that you are solid enough of a person to like maintain their attention. But like I mean, still, it's kind of like you're gonna want to go out and do like Instagrammable type shit sometimes. Oh, let's go to Tulum, let's go to Amalfi Coast, let's go to here, you know what I'm saying? And it gets tired when you paying for a whole $20,000 trip and I can't afford to like do that, so that is a level of insecurity I would have. But outside of just them as a person and their job, it's like whatever.
Maybe she ain't one of them. Maybe she ain't one of them basic ass city girls that want to get flued out. She ain't got no problem with stripping and taking care of her man. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know.
On the cool, whether they a good girl or not, I think that a lot of women like to get flued out when it's all said and done.
Come on now.
But I will also.
I mean, shit, a daddy man raised the whales.
Nigga, this ain't no damn Disney movie. Goddamn it. Goddamn.
I mean, but nothing. I will say nothing. Probably makes
this motherfucker.
But nothing makes a girl's vagina dry out more than having to reach for the check to pay for it with her own money. Like I mean, yeah, in a long-term relationship, there's times when maybe y'all share the responsibility. But like I mean, doing that on a consistent basis, like
doing it all the time.
Yeah, like that will draw in a relationship.
Then you talk about like, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm saying like you were saying paying for trips, and she, y'all in a totally different. Your lifestyles is totally different, and what y'all want to do is totally different. So you can't expect her. Eventually, it's gonna come to a head. You know what I'm saying? If you can't afford her lifestyle, and she got guys in the club that's willing to fly her out, that's paying her all this money a night, she gonna be like, oh, I might as well just mess with this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause he can support my lifestyle. I ain't gotta pay shit, and I can rack up all the money that I got and keep it for myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's just be real about it. But go ahead.
No, I mean, but I know a lot of dudes that take the stripper part out. I know a lot of dudes that like to only have women if they look a particular kind of way, let's say strip club quality, because a lot of dudes, they get their validation by having a baddie that everybody want, And, when you have a baddie, like my wife is a model. My wife is gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? And there's times when I go out with my wife and I feel like we don't match because like she
Yeah.
looks so damn good to me. And but the reality of the matter is that like I'm not sitting here necessarily all the time like thinking about like, oh, some, you know, dude who clears six figures every year, like he gonna come scoop my girl. Like, I mean, that's like a lack of confidence in myself at that point, you know, and that's a problem with me on the inside more so than like, you know, my wife's looks or her profession or even her morals, you know, like to say that just because like a baller come through, she gonna like leave me. And even if she does, okay, I'll move on and push on. But like, I mean, I wouldn't use that particularly as a reason why I wouldn't engage somebody in a relationship. But what would matter everything with a stripper is whether or not your personality and personal ethics matches like that lifestyle. If you just do this as a job, but then like you like to read, you trying to go to school, you trying to start an LLC, like you, or like you just want to have a vanilla ass life, or you know, that matches like my personal ethics and life. Like, I mean, I don't really care about anything else. It's like I know who you really are versus like that image you put out on stage, you know. And fortunately, she can make her ass clap while I make dinner at night. So, like, hey, that sounds like a relationship.
Hey, baby, thank you so much for making your ass
Yeah.
clap on that pole and doing that
Yeah.
split down that motherfucker. Here's your chicken, rice, and beans tonight. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Hey, baby, I made macaroni and cheese. We're gonna make the sounds later on. Like, that is how that works. That's how that works.
Man.
Moving
All
on.
right, man. Moving on to the next topic.
Wow.
Moving on to the next topic. Y'all know what today is, man. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers out there. Big Rob, happy Father's Day to you, to everyone out there, every father that's going to watch this episode. Happy Father's Day to you as well. Thank you so much for being in your kid's life and raising that kid, hoping one day they grow up to be a strong, independent young man or woman. You feel me? But I feel like Father's Day don't get as much as respect as Mother's Day do. You know what I'm saying? I remember the days going out there with Pops cooking the steak and the broccoli on the grill and doing the yard work and all this, that, and the third, doing the kitchen, folding clothes and all of that. Woo to woo. But on Mother's Day, but on Father's Day, mother get a pair of socks. You know what I'm saying? Get some drawers that we don't need to wear. It's the wrong size. My balls falling out of it type shit. So y'all tell me, man, why does Father's Day not get enough respect? And no, before we even get into it, to the single mothers out there, hear me now. Do not take Father's Day away because you made a bad choice. Go ahead and get into it.
Ooh. That stung right there.
That hurts.
I hope it did. If y'all got something to say, you can hit me up on
Talk
Twitter.
about petty.
Dino 2 times. You can hit me up on Instagram. Dino
I mean,
2 times. Y'all know the name.
That's elephant from India level of petty right there. Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the single parent household, epidemic that we have in the U.S. right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's an epidemic. Yeah, it's a lot of women out here with 1, 2, 3, 4, like Steph. You know what I'm saying?
But it's been around since forever. It's been around since forever.
what I'm
So like,
saying?
single
But
parent
I mean-
households, it's more like the common cold than like, COVID.
Well, that might be an epidemic then. I mean, I'm just saying, if it's more
It's
common,
still an epidemic. It's a problem. man.
you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
exactly. And see, this be my thing with it though, man. It just be like, when I see shit like that, and then I see, women like you say with 2, 3, 4, 5 kids, but then you wonder why you can't get a good man. It's like, kudos to my wife, right? She had a kid. I came in, I stepped up. I'm the stepfather. I did what the other guy didn't want to do, whatever the case may be. But like when you have multiple kids, not to like go on a tangent or go off left, but it's like I don't understand how you can get mad at certain people for not wanting to be in your life when you doing so much of this stuff, holding it over their head. When you keep making the back, especially if I go and I take a list of your baby daddies and all of them motherfuckers is the same, right? But then B, you getting upset because you can't find someone, you know what I mean, who can't take you for you and take your kids for you. Like some dudes and even females as well, they want to start their own relationship and start their own family from scratch, from the ground up. There's some females out there that don't have kids. There are some men out there who don't have kids, and they want to come in and start that up from scratch. So I just don't see how you can hold that over someone's head. I see that topic a lot on social media. You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, some guys and some women don't mind doing it, but then you can't get mad at those that don't as well. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold that over their head. I feel like that's lame as an individual because you made a mistake. You know what I mean? So
I look at it with women, and I mean, just as much as like some people could say, hey, you got multiple kids, like, you need, I don't like that you need to close your legs type argument because like that really does escape away the culpability of like, men out there that's going out there and acting like they Nick Cannon, with the pullout game. I mean, just I've known niggas that like have literally said every time I get with a girl, I ain't pulling out. Like I make as many kids as I want. I've heard niggas specifically say that type of literature, like those kind of words. And let's be real. As men, me personally, when I was dating, like I never did like say, oh, because you got a kid, like I can't date you. But not a lot of niggas is like that. There's a lot of girls that are like that. Oh, you got multiple kids, I can't date you. And you got to understand that, like, I feel as if a lot of dudes are walking into relationships and doing whatever, whether it results in a kid or not. And then all of a sudden, but they don't have it locked in their head. I'll make the kid, but I ain't going to stick around with the woman. And as a man that, like, you are low key putting, like, a strike against that woman, like that. There's a whole lot of responsibility you do, like by just go out there and haphazardly creating the child with this woman with no intentions of sticking around. And you should realize the accountability that comes along with it. And you can't blame women 100% all for that. There's some dudes that like just got some toxic ass behaviors. And as a byproduct, that is what fuels arguments like this where women say, oh, you don't know what we go through, oh, what we do. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but to that
I can
argument,
understand them being jaded.
that's why I feel like Father's Day
yeah.
respect though.
I can understand them being
you got
jaded.
men who are out there trying to change that stigma,
Yeah.
and they're trying to show
That's
that,
true.
hey, this person may be that way, but I'm not. I'm actually willing to step up to the plate. It's the same
And
thing.
hold on. Let's be real. There are a lot of these women out here that are single mothers that will not allow their fathers to be in their kids' lives.
True.
They will hold their kids for ransom against their father. And if all the
That's
father
true.
wants to do, it's a guy that I noticed that's a YouTuber that had. I was surprised to see that him and his girl was broke up, and he having all types of issues with the woman that I thought they was happy. They seemed like they was in love. They seemed like they was about to get married. They had just had a kid. And now she holding his child for ransom. She won't even let him see his kid. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of women out there that are like that. I'm not saying all women are like that, but there are a lot of women that are bitter because the man didn't choose to be with them. So they'll hold that kid as ransom and they won't let him see him because the man didn't choose to wife them and marry them. He wanted to move on to somebody else, and again, I mean, I get Al C's point about, there are some toxic men like Future, but at the end of the day, women do control access to sex. You know what I'm saying? You choose who enters your body. So, and I hate this, we always create this excuse and things of that nature, and we want to blame men, but we need to get into the realm of also holding women accountable for their choices as well, because that lets them escape accountability a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, the man, he should have known that he shouldn't skeet in her. But no, you should have chose better too. If this is the type of man that you chose to lay down with, and he he had to show some kind of traits beforehand to let you know that he was not going to be.
But there are niggas out there selling girls' dreams.
Yeah, there are. Not but we can't act like that's every man, and that's the problem.
No,
we try to put that on every man, and every man is not like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing. It has to be equal accountability, and that's just what I want. I want both parties to be accountable.
But they always talk about like the woman's fault, not the man's fault. Like
I don't hear that. I always hear.
I hear more.
I always hear the man is at fault most of the time.
In regards to this topic, though, getting back to respecting Father's Day, I think it goes back to what we talk about and what we said before. Hurt people, and you have to take responsibility for your own actions. Um, look at and there has to be a certain level of maturity. There has to be a
Mhm.
certain level of introspection. You have to look at yourself like, hey, am I ready to be a father? Or, hey, am I ready to be a mother? So if you look at yourself and like, hey, I'm not ready to be a mother, then guess what? You need to make sure that the person that you're dealing with has a condom on before he enters you, or you're taking some form of contraceptive, some kind of way in advance, some kind of way being responsible. If you know you're not ready, I mean, that's just being responsible. I mean, to me. And the thing that irritates me um a lot when it comes to Father's Day. And don't take this the wrong way, women. I love you. I love single mothers out there doing the best that you can. But Father's Day, Father's Day is for fathers. It's for
For
fathers.
men, for men.
Mother's Day is for mothers. How many men do you see? Single parent men do you see on Mother's Day? Like, yeah, I'm the mama. I'm the mama too.
Shit, nowadays you never know.
I mean, but
Man, come on.
but no matter how great a mother is, she can do her best. But a woman still can't teach a man
Mm-mm.
how to
Gotta be a
be
man.
a man, because at the end of the day, whether it's going to be a coach, a band director, a choir director, or whoever it is, or an uncle, it's going to be some strong male figure that guy or that son is going to look up to, that's going to be that role model of, hey, this is what a man looks like. Or even if it's granddad. But another thing, and going on to Reese's point, he makes a very valid point. We, as a collective, we got to stop. Men and women, black men and women, we got to stop this. We have to stop using kids to hurt each other.
And they just
Because at
black men and
the end,
women.
at the
I
end,
know some.
I
I know
mean,
some.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
women. I
about
mean, men
us,
and
because
women in
I'm
general.
us.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
Well,
yeah.
I'm
I feel
Right,
you.
us.
I
right.
All
feel
That's
you.
good.
true.
That's
I
fair.
ain't
That's
talking
That's
about
fair.
true.
them.
That's
I
fair.
care
That's
less
fair.
what they
Yeah,
doing.
you can
I'm
care
talking
less about
about
them.
I'm
That's
talking
true.
about
Mm,
us.
That's true.
We have to stop using kids to hurt each other, because at the end of the day, that kid
Is the one that
is the one that's
suffers.
being hurt, because that kid doesn't have his dad in his life. That kid doesn't have his mom in his life. So that time he's spending with mom, please stop down and dad. I don't care how no good, how low down, how whatever. Please stop it. Stop running down dads. If he really wants to spend time with his kid, allow him to spend time with his kid. Men, when your kid comes to you, stop talking down on the mama. Stop
Nope.
talking down. I don't care how dusty she is. I don't care how whatever. Stop talking down on. Use that time. Spend that time wisely with your kid, because if you don't, I mean, you only have that kid for a certain amount of time. Don't waste that time that you have with that kid talking about some, or sowing seeds of discord into their kid, because the only thing you're doing is hurting that kid. That kid is going to grow up with resentment toward either one, or probably both of you. So I mean, at the end of the day, responsibility on both ends. If you know you're not ready to have kids, be
You know,
responsible. Be responsible adults.
in this moment, I actually would challenge that idea of a woman can't teach a man how to be a man, because let's be real, we're going to talk about the pandemic of single women. There's single women out here doing it every day, and like the idea that a woman can't teach a man what she expects of out of a man, and then that man carry that into his relationships in the future. Like, I mean, that would be raising a pretty decent individual, it would seem like. Although it's a difficult task, because like you do need some male role models. I mean, I defer to that, but that's off on the tangent. I just feel as if, like, the whole accountability thing, yeah, that piece needs to be there, but I don't know. It's like in conversations like this, a lot of times, true enough, women be on that bullshit talking about like, oh, I'm the mother and the father, and it's like, I don't want to hear that shit. Ultimately, it's like, today is for the men. Let it be for the men. I think that in these arguments, we always focus on like the deadbeats out there that ain't doing what they think,
Exactly.
and then
Yeah.
the good men, the fathers, they step up and they speak up for themselves, and that's beautiful. Like who even unless you like one of them fathers who are capping and basically saying you're doing a lot more than what you really ain't doing, but you know, there is a stigma. There is like a lot of rhetoric out there, like making it seem as if fathers don't want to be fathers or don't know how to be fathers, or are falling behind, and like that I don't support in conversations like this. But at the same time, I will equally say that this day is about the good fathers. It ain't about the deadbeats. Like, like it is not. Don't use, like, I guess, the toxic relationship that you have with your personal baby father to like basically shun a day like today. I just would feel like that, if anything that men can do is like understand the conditions that basically led up to this, that doesn't necessarily always the fault of women, because just as much as we want women to shut the fuck up and let us have our day, we also need to hold our men accountable and say, hey, yo, stop being, the stereotype that basically fuels these kind of women's opinions about men, in my opinion. Like that's what I would say in that regard.
But I think it's a stereotype though, because there are tons of mothers that aren't in their kids' lives either. But you don't hear, deadbeat mothers. Like, they've kind of made an agenda to talk to basically break up the household, and also kind of demean fathers. You know what I'm saying? You don't see this rhetoric about mothers. You know,
But that's because it's far and few between. I know single
is it?
parent.
We just
My
don't we don't hear
uncle,
we don't
my
see the
uncle,
statistics.
one of my uncles, like he was like a
We
single
don't.
parent father who took care of his kid because like the mother was a drug addict.
But
Like
see, that's the
I
thing.
mean,
That's the thing. We don't have the statistics to know how many single mothers are out there. We just know that there are deadbeat dads out there. We know that there are fathers that may not take care of their kids, quote unquote.
I don't know the
So
statistic, but let's be real. Like we
I mean,
know
but
that
you
Hey,
can't
there's a
let's
you
be
lot.
can't
real.
s-
We don't
you
Yes,
know.
can't you can't
it's
say
like
because you don't
it's
know. You
like
can't
if I
say
walk into a white person's household, I know they
you
ain't got
can't
enough
say
salt for my
that's
liking.
just
I
that's just
just know.
assumption.
That's
That's
like
assumption.
No.
it's an
That's
assumption
not
that's
you can't
easy to be
know.
made,
You can't.
That's just like people always talk about and
That's
oh
Come
like
my
now,
gosh, they
that's
get on my
like
nerves with they always talking
come
about black
now.
on black
black on
crime.
black crime is
Black
a
on black
perfect
crime.
example of
This
it.
My
ain't
Like,
lord. No.
come.
No.
You
come
are not
on,
going to
it's
sit
you
up here
can't
and tell me there's
you
more that
can't you
there's just as
can't.
many single black
We don't
We're
male
know.
saying we
fathers
don't
as
know.
We don't
women.
know.
We
We don't
don't
know. We
know.
don't know. We
We don't
don't
know.
know.
We
We
Google
don't
it.
know.
Like we
But
can Google it right
we
now.
can agree. But we can agree that there is an agenda, and it's like people are shitting on fathers, and it's like I even saw a post from Haha Davis, and I love Haha Davis, but he had
Mhm.
this post where he had this video where he was talking about lying baby daddies, like, and it was just like when I think about it, it's like, damn, like, why you got to be negative on Father's Day? Like, why is it this agenda to be negative on a day where we're supposed to celebrate men? You know what I'm saying? Because you're choosing to pick out the man that didn't decide to do their job, and you want to let it overshadow all the goodness, because I think all of us have a father in our lives that have been decent to very good, exceptional men, but it's four black men on this channel that have good fathers. So you can't tell me that there's not a ton of good fathers out there, but instead we want to choose to focus on the deadbeat dads. Let's
Mhm.
turn this holiday upside. turn the rhetoric upside down and start highlighting the good dads and stop focusing on the deadbeat dads. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's bullshit. Because we don't focus on the mothers that don't do their job. You know what I'm saying? So and that'll change the narrative. That'll change the narrative.
Unless you're Eminem.
Maybe that'll make some of these men want to be good fathers if they have good examples.
Because the thing
You know
that
what I'm
we've
saying?
seen, though, is if you continue to repeat a narrative over and over, people will start believing it. Because, like I said, once again, with the black on black crime, you hear that everybody always say, well, what about Chicago? What about Chicago? What about black on black crime? Like, okay, people who live in a certain neighborhood, statistics show that they are more likely to kill the people that are in that same neighborhood. Therefore, there's no such thing as black on black crime. Just like
It's
white
just
on
crime.
white crime, white on white crime.
White on white crime. You don't hear about
Latino on Latino crime.
You don't hear about that.
Russian on Russian crime. Do we ever hear that?
Well, we hear quite a bit about that today.
If you continue to repeat a narrative, people will continue to roll with, and they'll take it as fact.
I will. Well, to all y'all point, like, I'm just playing devil's advocate, like, because
you good?
Yeah, like, because like, women, the women got a point. It's just that. Yeah, women got a point, but just today ain't the day to make that fucking point. Let this be the platform to stand on to talk about deadbeats.
There are some men out there that ain't shit niggas. But like I said, women, y'all control access to sex. If you cannot, I will tell you this. If you tell it, and you can say a lot of women's argument is it just feels better without the condom. But I guarantee you, if you tell a nigga that, hey, you can't beat unless you put on a condom, I guarantee you 99.9% of them niggas going to get a condom if they ain't got one. I guarantee you, I put money on it.
I think y'all, just as much as like good guys step up and talk about, oh, that ain't me in these kinds of conversations when they talk about the deadbeats, I feel as if us who might be a little bit more responsible with the condom usage is really speaking up for a bunch of niggas that ain't that responsible with condoms. Because, like,
but
I don't know one woman.
I've heard a lot of women.
I've heard a lot of women that without a condom on.
Nah, I've heard a lot of women. I watched a lot of videos and they say they like unprotected sex. And this is recently. I've seen a lot of women saying that they like unprotected sex.
But that's just this generation.
It's crazy. Okay. We saying like telling you that they like unprotected sex, and if you want to stop these single parent households from happening, protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? If you know the guy ain't responsible, you be responsible and you make him wear a condom if you don't want to be a mother. And that's all I'm saying. Again, accountability goes both ways. But if you want to stop it and you're tired of the same shit, somebody has to come up with a solution on one side. That's all I'm saying.
I hear you.
Hey, listen, all I got to say is child support is for absent parents, not fucking failed relationships. So don't be out here trying to put that nigga on child support so you could go get your goddamn weave and get you a new Bentley and be fine for hot girl summer, because it's fuck you to the end. Anyway, moving on to the next topic with your basic bitch ass. Let's talk about Hey, I'm just speaking facts. You feel me? Because y'all out here getting BBLs, getting your weave touch your ass and shit. Anyway, let's talk about the fondest memory of our dads. Give me something that you remember your dad for.
Man,
go ahead. No, you go ahead. I always interrupt you out of everybody. It's like,
I know we always interrupting each other.
Nah. Go ahead. You go.
I got a lot of memories, man. I remember one time when my dad was the hip dad, man. He used to always listen to like Tupac and Biggie, and he always Master P. Like, he was how I kind of learned about hip hop. So like one of my fondest memories is like when I was a little kid, I used to ride my little tricycle around, and my dad would always wash his car, and he would be jamming like the latest album. I think at the time it was like Tupac. And it was just cool to hang around my dad, because my dad was in the military. So, he was on a ship. He was in the Navy. So he was on a ship a lot of times when I was a kid, So whenever he was home, I always wanted to be around him. I always wanted to, either play football or whatever he was doing, I was there. You know what I'm saying? And like just one of my fondest memories with him is like when he was washing his car, listening to Tupac, and I could just vividly remember, like riding around on my tricycle and like, this is my dad, like, and as a kid, you like, this is my hero, like the person, one of the people that I really look up to. So I just remember that, that memory just sticks out to me because, anybody that knows me knows that I was a rapper and I love music, and that's kind of where I feel like I got my love for music from. So yeah, that's just one of the fondest memories that I have of my father.
So, I got a lot of memories too about my dad. Like, my dad has been like, I was an awkward ass kid, so I remember my dad coming to pick me up from school because I did something dumb. Like, he had this, like, I remember one time, this was kindergarten, so please don't judge me, but I shoved a fucking crayon in my nose. It got stuck, and he had to take me home to get the crayon out. Like, Jesus, wow, such a dumb kid I was. I don't know how the fuck I didn't die, but I remember my dad saved me in the pool, like jumping in all his clothes and pulling me out of the pool on vacation.
Man.
I remember a lot of fond memories, but like one of my best ones is I remember there was an ice storm in our hometown, and we had to leave my mom and my sister at the house so that we can go a couple of to a couple of cities over to buy a generator. And just I guess like just in all these things, I just remember how much of a provider my dad really was for the family, and you know how he gave me examples on how to be a man without even like necessarily sitting me down and be like, this is what you do, boy, this is what you do, son. I just learned by proxy, and like
Yeah.
for that I appreciate the hell out of my dad, and will love him forever.
I
Man,
think
I was an awkward kid though.
uh,
So
my
sad.
actually is weird because out of all, I mean, I got like everybody else said, I got a whole bunch of fond memories of my dad, but one of the fondest memories actually was a whooping that I got, and I may have told this story once before, and it was because of my it was actually because of my sister. Um, I was in elementary, and you know when we had regular cable, but we didn't have HBO. And back in those days, you could see if you turn to HBO, you could see like it'll be snowing. Like you couldn't make it out what was going on. But if you watch a little closely, you can see a breast here, a thigh there, or something like that.
Mhm.
Whether it
Nigga, that
was
wasn't HBO. That was the
whether
porn network.
whether it was
Nigga
re-
getting it
uh
confused.
whether it was Taxi Cab Confessions on HBO or Emmanuel or something like that on
Cinemax.
Cinemax. And so one day, I don't know why, I went to school and I just I was drawing, and so I drew a picture of some breasts, like huge breasts,
This super
and then
badass.
I drew like waves in it, and there was like milk. That was supposed to. That was supposed. That
Titty
was.
waves.
Man.
That was. It
Titty
was.
milky
It,
titty waves.
it was
Oh, you
supposed.
thinking about an elementary school, bro?
I didn't. I just tell. Didn't I just tell you I was
Milky titty
watching? I was
waves.
watching Cinemax, and
Oh
so
my
Oh, the
what
waves were you thought titties were wavy because of the okay, I get
they
it.
had milk in them, and so
Mm, mm, I get it.
and
It
so
makes sense now.
somehow
Okay.
my sister saw the picture. My sister saw the picture, and
Ah.
so she was like, "Daddy, come look at come look at what he what he drew." And so I grabbed the picture, I tore the picture up, and I threw the picture in the garbage can.
Mm,
He made me to go in the garbage can and pick up the pieces of the picture and put them all back
Mhm.
together again. And when he saw the picture, he used to give us he had two weapons of well, two tools of mass destruction. He had a thick green belt, or he had like a thick shoe. It was like a thong sandal. but it was like super. It was like
He
Probably.
won't
super
beat
thick,
y'all with a shoe, was it?
That
bro.
sounds very Muslim right now. You getting
And
beat with
when
chocolates,
and
like
and
the
when he
hell?
had that, he got that belt, and he grabbed one hand. He grabbed one hand, and, he started whooping. I did the whole dance, the dance around. You had to you try to put your arm back there so he won't hit you. So he won't hit your arm. You're like, I'm doing this because I love, that whole speech. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, man, there's no way you love me the way you hit me like this. You hit me too. You hit me too hard, Playboy. Like this really hurt. He like, you gonna respect women, and it's funny. I mean, I can look back at it now and laugh at it, but him, he was always a disciplinarian. And I can see that. I can see that in how I'm raising my son. How I'm raising my son now. Certain things I just don't let him slide. I don't let him slide on, and I really appreciate. I really appreciate my dad for the discipline that he instilled. He instilled in me. Where, like I said, I didn't know it at the time, and I was like, man, this don't hurt you. He talking about this hurt me more than it hurts you to be hit. But when I've had to whoop my son, I now see what he's saying, because it doesn't feel good as a parent when you have to whoop your child, and you see a child crying. But by the same token, if you don't set those consequences, you don't set those boundaries in place, and you send your kid out into the world is going to whoop your kid, and the world doesn't care. The world doesn't care about your kid. So that was one of the fondest memories of my dad. Me actually getting a whooping from my dad.
That's crazy. So I mean, everybody
Everybody
knows.
mean them beatings. Everybody
No,
Yeah,
remember the beatings.
everybody had beatings.
everybody that
Mm.
had beatings. I didn't. I didn't. My
Mm.
dad didn't. But the biggest thing was, I'm gonna call your mama, and then when they say I'm gonna call your daddy, all right, I'm act right. You ain't got to worry
Man.
about it. But everybody know me and Reezy got the same pops, the same mom. Man. But I mean, I feel like some of our memories is somewhat different, seeing that I'm the youngest of the bunch. You know, like you said, my pops was the hip, cool pops, man. But I just remember, like, I take heed to the times that we had where we just chilled, like going fishing. Like it seems like once me and my brother got older, especially for me, I can't speak for my brother, but for me, it seems like I'm not to say that my pops is like, I don't know how much time I got left, but it kind of feels like that. Like he wants to spend as much time with you as he can. And I mean, I remember once I got older, him, being happy just for me to come over there and help him cut the grass. When me and my brother was younger, we used to fight over who was gonna cut the smallest piece because we had a pretty big yard. You know what I'm saying? But like as I got older, it was like I cherished those times going out there helping him cut the grass. I cherished those times, as opposed to being younger when I wanted to be in the house. I cherished those times being able to go out there and chill on the boat with my pops and fish and just kind of pick his brain on things, man, on how to be a better man, how to be a better person in this world. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that, he was a man, he made it through. He's older now, you know what I'm saying, and he's more wise. But I mean, I got two fond memories, kind of to piggyback off of what Al C said. I remember one time we had a bad snowstorm that came through Memphis. Me and my brother and my family, we stayed in a little small town outside of Memphis. It was called Atoka. And I remember we had a bad snowstorm, but my mom always had to go to work. So we had to round up and, we stayed at home. We took my mom to work that morning and then we stayed at home as the power and everything was out. We had to go out there and get that heavy ass kerosene heater, bring it in the house. And me, my pops, and my brother, we bunched up around the kerosene heater to stay warm. And then when 5 o'clock came, we got up to go get my mom. And I remember one time when I got older, that same thing kind of happened when my brother was off at college and he let me drive. And I remember my pops let me drive in the snow because he was trying to teach me how to drive in bad weather. And I hit a patch of ice and I hit the brakes and like started fighting with him. So he was like, "Oh, hell no, boy, no." He was like, "Nope, don't worry about it. You can't drive no more." But like kind of like a sentimental moment, not to get emotional, man. But I remember when, like my brother said, I remember my pops was in the Navy and I wanted to follow my dad's footsteps as I got older. And I remember, one of my fondest memories, one of the memories that I feel like my dad was the proudest of me was when I was getting ready to go into the military. I don't think I've ever seen, even though he wasn't like super duper smiley, super duper happy, like I've never seen my dad that more attentive, that more like attention to detail than that time. Like, I mean, I remember after passing the ASVAB and getting the physical done and everything, and him giving me guidance on, what to say, what not to say, and him like, bring home your paperwork so that way I can help you pick a job based on your score. And I'm gonna come in there with you. And him, he was in there throwing around his weight like I'm E7. I'm fucking what Shaq say. I'm G14 classified. Like this what my son gonna get type shit. So man, I just remember that, man. It was such a great memory seeing how proud my dad was. I mean, like we always got that moment where we want to see our dad proud of us playing a sport, see our dad proud of us getting married, walking down the aisle or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And I got a chance to see those, but definitely seeing him, smiling, happy that, one of his sons is following his footsteps, letting him know, like we can say that we know our dads are our heroes, but when we follow and do kind of the same thing that they did, that just lets them know, like, damn, I really am his hero. Like I did a great job because he wants to follow after me. So, you know what I mean? That's really my fondest memory that I got of my pops, man. So to all the fathers out there, to me and my brother's pops, to every other pops, man, we love you guys. We appreciate you for everything that you've done for us. Y'all didn't have to do it. Y'all could have been like a lot of the stereotypical deadbeat dads that are out there, but y'all chose to stay in our lives, raise us right. We definitely appreciate you guys for that. Not to get emotional, man. Let me catch it for a tear coming out my motherfucking eye. So y'all have officially made it to the end of episode 37. We appreciate you all for staying this far, man. So hopefully y'all got some good content out of there. Don't forget, man, when y'all watch this video, comment, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share it so everybody can see it, man. So from your boy Dino to Al C to Rob to Reese, man, again, we appreciate you guys for watching this episode, and we out. And if you didn't feel us this time, I guarantee you gonna feel us next. I ain't gonna say it, guys, because it's family. It's fuck that shit. Get the fuck off my screen, nigga. My daddy taught me that.
Hey, it's your boy Rob from the They Gon' Feel Me podcast. And if you want more authentic conversation from authentic men, check out this video.